Hello, my name's Michelle Snyder. I'm an undergraduate senior in the psychology department and a member of the Helen P. Dent Honor Society. In my spare time, I like to write and publish my own poetry, typically of a psychological nature. Today, I've compiled 3 of my poems illustrating the connection between childhood trauma and PTSD, how one grows through childhood trauma to develop CPTSD as an adult. In our first poem, Sandash, we start off in the mind of a child developing a fantasy world with beautiful creatures that'll take her out of the world that she currently lives in. In the second poem, Priorities, we start to understand that world that the child really does live in. We start to hear the conversations around her and the mindset that she's growing into. And in our third poem, CPTSD is to me, we start to understand what PTSD is, how it actually affects the entire body and brain, and what it can look like when a person is behaving in that nature. While I hope these poems are entertaining for you, I also hope that they are an eye-opening understanding into an illness that is severely affecting our country right now. Thank you for your time. I hope this is enjoyable, and have a great night.
In the mountains and valleys there was a sweet lass, daring and brave, some called her Sandash. The girl strode the kingdom from the tips to the crevice, searching for love and finding her heavens. She met many creatures while traveling her way, a young minotaur and nude nymphs at play, and she found her home near the beaches, I'm told. So if you're quite quiet, yes, if you're quite bold, go down to the shore where the moon meets the sky. You may hear her sing, with her dragon she flies. Her song is so sweet, like honey apple pie. Be careful though, take heed I'd advise. She may be a beauty the finest you'll see, but your soul she will take, and a shell you will be. Just like the ones we find on the beach, each once her past lover, now well out of reach. Never a priority to mom or dad or teachers, she'll do fine on her own, dreaming of wondrous creatures. She could join in more, but then we'd have trouble, especially with her family there. God help us if she's with her brother. Leave her in her own world, at least she'll seem tame. She's just another child. Basically, they're all the same. Time moves on, children grow, but those same childhood scars always show. Still not a priority, and now it brings such anger. Creating too much tension, she turns into a stranger, a child who's reacting to many years in the past, the adult who needs distracting, but the emotions come too fast. Never a priority, not even to herself. Allowing those to put her second, ignoring her own mental health. This is how a child grows when taught they don't come first. They yearn and dream of a home, a dry, insatiable thirst. If I could put it down into words, I might almost explain all of its hurt. How it displays in so many ways, like memories which continue for days, or how one feels the feeling of doom sitting all alone in their room. It's not some illness that you have, but a brain injury which has driven you mad. After one's lived through so much abuse, the mind will then morph by how it's been used. The physical brain will actually change. Some areas shrink, which make you seem deranged. Other lobes grow far too large, which eventually leaves the emotions in charge. The hippocampus may be transformed, leaving your memory to underperform. And with a decrease in function, it's hard to remember. Some things fade like a slow glowing ember. It's something you can almost touch, but your brain is aware it'll hurt you too much. The inconvenience of this adaptation is that the short-term memory dies of starvation. So you could be going about your day and forget everything, someone might say. This can lead to too many frustrations. At work, at home, you face limitations. The amygdala is also affected. Fear runs rampant while reality is rejected. This small spot will overproduce too many hormones which will be misused. Fight or flight sit on a hair trigger which will often make the complications bigger. The reaction your brain tells you is sane can be far from that, in fact, insane. With the amygdala charged, you're hyper-aroused, which sounds kind of fun, but it's not how it sounds. You don't feel sexy or want to be touched. It's more like everything affects you too much. The prefrontal cortex is next to go wrong. It regulates the amygdala, which should keep you from harm. See, the fear you feel is to keep you safe, but it doesn't quite work feeling fear every place. It too controls one's will to exist, so depression and anxiety are hard to resist. A brain injury will cause the afflictions. It's confusing to some and to others all fiction. But this is how it is. This is how it feels. To live with a brain injury so difficult to heal, to try to describe what you just can't see, and to put into words all this pain underneath.